Okay, this is going to be a lesson on the piece entitled Vals. You all should have a copy of this. This is actually going to be the first part of your final exam. First, I'll go ahead and play through the piece so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'll go back and talk about a few things that might not be totally obvious when you sit down to learn it. Okay, so there's a few things you need to watch out for when you're going through this piece. First of all, if you look out at the very beginning, you're going to see a sharp sign on the top line F. That's telling you that every F in the entire piece is sharped, so watch out for that. All your Fs on the first string will not be on the first fret like your chart says. They will be on the second fret. Also, you have to look out for some lower F sharps as well. There'll be one on the sixth string later in the piece. So any F is going to be sharp, so watch out for that. When you get to the end of the first line, the second to the last measure, this is not completely obvious, but when you get there, what you'll want to do is grab a little chord shape. You're going to hold down B, 5th string, 2nd fret. You're going to hold down A, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and F sharp, 1st string, 2nd fret, all at the same time. This is part of an B7 chord. So when you get to that measure, the second to the last measure of the first line, go ahead and hold all three of those notes at the same time, and you will continue to hold those for the next measure as well. So if you get all those on, then all you got to do is pluck the right strings, you'll get the right notes. And then in the next measure after that, you're going to see a G on the second beat. What you'll want to do is keep the chord on and just use your pinky to grab the G. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So watch out for that part of the song. That happens several times in the piece. The next thing you're going to want to watch out for is on the third line, third measure. You're going to see some rests there. Make sure you actually stop the notes. So I'm talking about the third line, third measure. When you get there, go ahead and stop the notes on the rest. Those are one count a piece. So that measure would be like 1, rest, rest. Okay. Then the next thing you'll want to look out for is on the fourth line, second measure. You're going to have a part there where you see a 3 and a 4 written next to the notes. That's a B and a D. When you look for those notes on your chart, it's going to say that they're both on the same string. Well, it's impossible to play two notes on the same string at the same time. So the B is actually in a different spot. The B is going to be on the 3rd string, 4th fret. Okay. Easy way to get there, if you figure out the part right before it, you're going to be holding an A and a C like this. When you get to the B and the D, all you've got to do is take that little shape and slide it over 2 frets. That will get you the B and the D. So I'll play the first 2 measures of the 4th line so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Then the last thing you'll want to look out for at the very end of the piece, the last 3 notes that you see there, right above them, it says HAR 12. Well, that's a special effect. It's something called a harmonic. So when you get to those notes, what you're going to do is come up to the 12th fret. The first one you see there that has the HAR 12 above it, that's a G note. You're going to come to the G string, the third string on the 12th fret. Set the tip of your finger lightly over the metal, and you're going to be on this side of the fret. So if you have a nylon string guitar, it's right where it meets your body of the guitar. If you have a steel string, you probably have 2 dots there. So anyway, set your finger where you normally wouldn't play, right over the metal, and very lightly touch the string. You don't even want to press it in, just barely touch it, and then pluck the string kind of hard, and it will give you this sort of bell sound. That's called a harmonic. Okay, and if you do your harmonics when you pluck a little bit closer to the bridge back here, farther than normal, they come out a little bit better. Okay, so the last 3 notes are all harmonics. One on the 3rd string, 2nd string, and 1st string. So the last 3 notes, make sure you use a really light touch right above the metal. Make sure the tip of your finger is touching right over the metal. Okay, so hopefully that explains some things that'll help you get through this. If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to email me. If we need to meet through Skype or FaceTime like that to work one-on-one, I'm happy to do that as well. So anyway, hope this helps. This will be the first part of your final exam, playing Vals. And by the way, Vals means waltz. And one more thing before I go, there's a little pattern that you may want to practice some before you start the piece. You will play the 6th and 1st strings together, using your thumb on the 6th string, your ring finger on the 1st string. Play those together, and then take 2 fingers, index and middle fingers, set them on the 2nd and 3rd strings at the same time, and pluck those 2 strings together twice. So you'll have a little pattern like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumb and ring together, index and middle together twice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This little motion happens quite a bit throughout the piece, so you may want to practice that before you start the piece.